Welcome to another installment of Deconstructing Babylon, where we discern the signs and symbols of the mystery religion of Hollywood Babylon. I'm the Discerning Clerk, and I use a biblical framework to deconstruct my favorite movies from the 90s.
Noticed your eyeglasses. They don't have any lenses in them.
They're my dad's. The lenses hurt my eyes.
I wear cheap wigs in my videos. I've chosen mostly brightly colored wigs because I dye my natural hair bright colors, so it still feels authentic to me. Every video I include a clip about my lensless frames, but I rarely talk about why I choose to wear wigs. First of all, it is a bit about anonymity. Though my channel is face forward, I don't want it to be about me or my opinion. I really try to point you to Yahweh and His Word, to know it for yourself, and not take my word for it. I also use the wigs as a covering of sorts. I don't wear head coverings as a form of obedience because my hair itself is my head covering, according to Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. So the wigs are just a fun way to show that I'm covered by grace, by knowledge of and obedience to the Word, and submission to the Messiah. I don't know if I will always wear the wigs, but for now it's part of my online presence. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about today's selection, Dazed and Confused, the ultimate last day of school period piece with an ultra-talented young cast and an insane soundtrack. Released in 1993, Dazed and Confused garners 3.5 stars from the Video Movie Guide, which says, although it's hard to view the silly 70s with the same nostalgia George Lucas gave the 60s in American Graffiti, writer-director Richard Linklater makes a game effort. Employing a cast of mostly unknowns, Linklater shows how the final day of high school in 1976 affects the outgoing seniors and incoming freshmen. While not to all tastes, this whimsical ensemble drama contains occasional truths and a lot of heart. Rated R. It's interesting how the reviewers compared this film to American Graffiti, which came out in 1973 and takes place in 1962. 11 years. Dazed and Confused came out in 1993 and takes place in 1976. 17 years. And both are idealistic social commentaries on the times. Imagine a movie released in 2025 that takes place in, 2010. That's about high school students. It certainly wouldn't look that different because we don't have decade identities anymore. After the millennium, there's nothing in fashion, music, vehicles, or even slang that separates us from the rest of history. I can imagine it would be entirely based in the world of social media. All right, let's see what we see in Dazed and Confused. The movie opens on the student parking lot, and the classic cars from the 70s are our first clue to the time we're in. As we know, based on the title and our own experience, the characters and storylines center a lot around smoking weed. I don't know how YouTube feels about showing clips that include that, so I will do my best to avoid showing it. But it is a legal substance throughout Canada and quite a few states in the Union. The students they feature throughout the opening credits are preparing to start their summer and really just get through their last day of school. We have an extensive cast to meet, and we begin with Randall Pink Floyd, starting senior quarterback on the football team, with his girlfriend, Simone.
Why don't we just, meet at the party?
Hey.
I wouldn't want you waiting around for me all night anyway.
There is a big build-up to this last day party, but we'll get to that. We meet Slater, the quintessential stoner.
What time is your party tonight, man?
9:30, man.
9:30. Okay. I'll be there, man.
Next, the nerdy threesome, Mike, Tony, and Cynthia. Not nerdy necessarily, but not athletes, not popular, not stoners, so what other cliche high school group would they fit in?
Okay, I guess we're going to the party then.
Next we meet Don Dawson, fellow football player and the other kind of player, Okay, when I was in high school, a player was a guy who went out with a bunch of girls but never had a girlfriend. Where are my fellow elder millennials at? Don gives Pink a pledge form from their coaches, and all players must agree to abstain from drugs in order to play in the next season.
I voluntarily agree to not indulge in any alcohol, drugs, or engage in any other illegal activity that may in any way jeopardize the years of hard work we as a team have committed to our goal of a championship season in '76.
Pink, Don, and their intense teammate, Benny, head out for some freshman hazing. And for the boys, they get their butts beat with paddles made especially by the seniors.
So if you meet here, Right here. After school today, you only get one lick from each of us.
We don't focus too much on the freshmen, but we meet friend group Tommy, Carl, Hirschfelder, and most of all, Mitch Kramer. Mitch's older sister, Jody, is a senior and has asked the senior boys to take it easy on her little brother. Some of the players are given a quick pep talk from their coaches and a reminder to sign their anti-drug pledge.
Well, Randy, if you could get that back to us by the end of the day, we'd feel a lot better about it. And you guys see that he does this, okay?
Next, a young Ben Affleck before he was Batman as returning senior O'Banion. He doesn't necessarily have friends either because all his classmates are graduating. Guys like him consider high school to be the best years of their life. It seems the incoming freshmen also have a party they are looking forward to. But first, they need to escape the seniors who are itching to haze the younger boys.
Men, 50 of you are leaving on a mission. 25 of you ain't coming back.
Once school is out, the hazing begins. And it's not just the boys who have to endure humiliation. The freshman girls are mocked, degraded, and otherwise bullied by the senior girls. The senior girls in question are Jody, Mitch's big sister, Simone, Pink's girlfriend, and Simone's bestie, Darla.
That was pathetic!
The only freshman girl we focus on is Sabrina, who makes a connection with nerdy Tony. Slater and Pink arrive at Kevin Pickford's house, where this much-talked-about party is taking place. As his parents pack up to leave for a weekend getaway, Pickford gets high in his bedroom with his girlfriend, Michelle.
Did you order some kegs of beer?
Pickford is foiled by his own plans, and his much-anticipated party is canceled by his parents canceling their own travel plans.
Start unpacking. We're not going anywhere.
The partygoers don't know the party has been canceled until they show up and come face-to-face with the parents who never left. Since the freshman boys have avoided their hazing after school, the seniors are still looking to get their licks in. They wait for Mitch and his friends at their baseball game.
Hey, what are you looking at? Keep your head in the game. Concentrate.
Mitch's friends ditch him, and Mitch faces the seniors alone. After a brutal beating, Pink offers to drive Mitch home, and then invites the freshmen out with the group that night.
Hey man, look, since the party's not going on, me and some of the other guys will probably end up just riding around. You want us to stop by and pick you up?
Almost halfway through the film, and we've met a lot of characters. But now we finally meet one of the most memorable, quotable, and iconic characters of the movie, Wooderson.
All right.
The seniors kill time while trying to plan something to kick off their start of the summer. We get to the middle school dance, which is also boring for Mitch's friends.
You boys leave. You can't come back.
But it's not really safe for freshmen who haven't been paddled yet to be walking around at night when there are bored seniors looking for some action. The boys and girls rarely cross over, but here the featured freshmen chat a bit about their experiences with the seniors. Their daylight hazing was really just a precursor to their high school experience. This night is really their initiation into popularity.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Mitch even goes along for a destructive delinquent ride, more tests of his loyalty to the seniors.
You're nuts, Junior. You're nuts.
Another test for Mitch is when he's asked to buy some beer for one of the seniors, which he pulls off.
You're 18, right?
Oh yeah.
This movie takes place a full 8 years prior to the legal drinking age in the U.S., increasing to 21.
They really sold it to you?
Of course.
Since Pickford's party is a bust, Wooderson finally arranges an outdoor party.
Guys, party at the Moon Tower.
Oh, beautiful.
The Moon Tower is so aptly because it has 6 bright glowing orbs on a tall pedestal, which in and of itself is a massive symbol. Wooderson spreads the word about the party, inviting Cynthia and Mike and Tony by default. Once the party is in full swing, a group decide to climb the Moon Tower.
Actually, it's a good idea. I mean, you got a full moon out here every day of the year, you know?
Last I checked, the moon comes out at night, and there are phases of the moon to indicate the passage of time over a month. A full moon every night means time has stopped. And maybe for these students, time has stopped. They're all involved in being present in the moment, even if they are all inebriated. It somehow seems to enhance their experience rather than avoid what they're going through. Amidst it all, Benny confronts Pink about football and his reluctance to sign the pledge form. It's been a catalyst for Pink to really question his goals and ultimately his identity.
All I'm saying is that if I do play next year, it's going to be on my terms, not theirs.
As the party wears on, the kids get more and more drunk. Couples start forming and emotions run high. Nerdy Mike gets himself so worked up, he picks a fight with a guy who can obviously take him down. But all things must come to an end. Fights are broken up, kegs run dry, and even relationships end.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Pink and a group of stoners sneak onto the football field to smoke a joint, a protest of sorts to the pledge he's been asked to sign.
Well, look, I mean, all I'm saying is that if I ever start referring to these as the best years of my life, remind me to kill myself.
As the sun comes up, the football smoke session gets interrupted by the local police. Since some of the guilty are football players, Coach is called rather than their parents.
Hey, Coach Conrad. Remember me? Second period gym class?
Pink finally makes a choice and decides he will not pledge loyalty to the team. The movie ends as Pink, Wooderson, Slater, and Simone drive out of town to buy tickets to an Aerosmith concert, even though they've been up all night and have been drinking and smoking for hours. The final image is the open road, the future for these characters stretching out in front of them. Dazed and Confused famously has no real plot line. No inciting incident, no character development, no dark night of the soul, no happy ending. But there is a theme and plenty of symbolism. For once, though, I didn't see much duality. No checkerboards, no black and white, no blue and red. Just smoke, frankly. Yet, half the movie took place during the day and the other half at night. So the duality was subtle and had an emphasis on the moon. The talk of the moon tower was interesting to me. Pink talks about when and why it was built, and it was to give light to the night crew building a new power plant, and they just left it up. Except it isn't just one big spotlight, it's 6 orbs. 6 is the number of a man, representing a full moon that sits on top of a pedestal, or like an altar. This feels like a form of worship, but I didn't get the impression that any of the characters were this moon man, except maybe Pink. But as I mentioned, the full moon every night would make the residents feel like time isn't passing. And that was a major theme. Be in the moment. Live your life today.
You know, I'd like to quit thinking of the present, like right now, as some minor, insignificant preamble to something else.
Hand in hand with be in the moment narrative is the false idea to follow your own heart, especially for Pink. The Bible says that the heart is deceitful above all things and is desperately sick. We ought not to follow the desires of our own hearts because we can easily be led astray.
The older you do get, the more rules are gonna try to get you to follow. You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
I understand that teenagers, regardless of the era, tend to reject authority and rebel against their parents. It's part of becoming an adult and finding out who we are apart from our parents. But I feel like this movie perpetrated the idea that high school students are old enough to drink to excess, do drugs, be sexually promiscuous, and understand the repercussions of those decisions. The 90s were massively influential to encourage teens to have sex young and with multiple partners without any consequences. And that's just not true, regardless if you have faith or strong moral compass. Finally, I couldn't help but notice a fair amount of American indoctrination throughout, as the students grappled with what they'd been taught on certain issues. First of all, July 4th, 1976 was the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Don't forget what you're celebrating, and that's the fact that a bunch of slave-owning, aristocratic white males didn't want to pay their taxes.
Though this movie takes place at the end of May, almost 5 weeks before the 4th of July, yet there were signs saying Happy Birthday America and other references to it. I'm surprised there weren't any references, though, to the Vietnam War, which would have ended 1 year prior to this movie taking place. There were some references to conspiracy theories.
And there you guys were in class trying to list all the Gilligan's Island episodes without even a hint of irony.
I mean, did you ever look at a dollar bill, man? There's some spooky stuff going on a dollar bill, man. Yeah. I mean, and it's green, too.
Which one of you had the theory about how President Ford's old football head injuries is affecting the economy?
Did you know Ford was on the Warren Commission?
Who cares? He's out of there this fall.
This country is founded. It was founded by people who were in the aliens, man. George Washington, man. He was in a cult. And the cult was in the aliens, man. You didn't know that?
When I first saw this movie, and even all the times I watched it since, I never really put stock into these lines. Some of them seemed like throwaway lines. Others were uttered by a literal stoner. Who believes that? But the director kept these moments. For a movie that has no plot, that seems very intentional. The challenge to and rejection of authority seem to come at every different angle. From Pink rejecting his coaches, to Mitch breaking his curfew, Pickford hosting a party when his parents are away, the delinquency, the lying to parents and other adults, and the only adult in the group, Wooderson, acting like a dumb teenager. I mean, what else is there to say? Just like the title, this whole movie is confused. It wants to be rebellious, but still doesn't cross the line. It wants to follow its heart, but still returns to safety. It wants to be badass, but it's still one of the most loved films in the last 30 years. And to be honest, I do still love it. Which isn't always the case when I deconstruct my favorite movies from the 90s. Dazed and Confused managed to survive. That's enough for today. Thank you for enduring to the end. Give the video a thumbs up if you agree and a thumbs down if you disagree. Comment below what you think I missed and to suggest any 90s movie you'd like me to deconstruct in the future. Subscribe to the channel if you like to see more content like this, but don't follow me. Follow the one who saves you. And until next time, keep looking up.
All right, let's rock and roll. You cool, man?
Like how?
Okay.